Yo, yo, yo. Welcome this morning to the SBP back in full effect. Source, what is good?
What up, Brian? How you feeling, man? Been a minute.
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling a little bit better since I got this coffee in me. I was a little slow this morning, but this coffee starting to, give me a little life here. You know what I'm saying?
Word, word, word.
Yep. So, yep. And always, I am your boy Prime Sports Bar Kingpin is in full effect. Good morning, everybody. We actually a little bit earlier than normal, but we do that sometime because we can. That's what we do. So, yeah. All right. How you feeling, bro?
It's another day, another dollar. Still, still confused by last week. Not confused, but just bewildered. That's a better word. I'm not confused.
Oh
But yeah,
yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. But that's the league, man. That's the league. That's why, you know me. I'm not one of those guys that goes out just automatically say that something's going to happen because that's just the way it looks. Just like for an example, and we'll talk more about them in a sec. But everybody is 100% without a doubt, without any shadow of a doubt, that we are getting uh, Ravens and 49ers in the Super Bowl because they look like the best teams in their respective conferences.
right.
If you've been watching football long enough or any sport, they don't always go the way that you think it's going to go. So, you know what I'm saying? So, people, you know, be shocked. Like, could you imagine if neither one of them makes it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, but people are just so convinced that that's what's going to happen. Definitely. So,
Yeah. Neither are making it is not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, clearly they both have only one more game to win, and they'll be at the
yeah.
crib. So that's a positive. But and I don't like to say any given Sunday because, I mean, I get any given Sunday, but you never know, especially on the AFC side, man. Any of those teams could represent the AFC, and nobody would be surprised for real. Nobody should be surprised anyway.
Indeed. Good morning, everybody who's on so far. My man's Bruce Parker. What's up, my G? Jawan, what's going on, brother? Um, Hope your morning's going well. Hey, yeah, you just don't know, man. You just don't know, and we're going to find out. We could see some surprises today. We thought we almost saw something yesterday, last night, which we'll get into here in a sec. But you just don't know. But before we get into these games, man, I thought it would be only right because it's kind of ties into what we started to show with things that happened last week, and then of course things that just happened after this past weekend. So first thing we gonna start off with is some of these coaches. All right.
Hmm.
And it's a batch of coaches I'm about to put on the screen. One of them you're probably be like, why is he even on the screen? But there's some reasoning behind it. So let's get to it. So four coaches here on the screen. First of all, we have to start the show off by giving a shout out to the Raiders organization by making the right call and making the move and making Antonio Pierce removing the interim tag and making him their head coach. What was your thoughts when you first saw this, bro?
What took so long? That was my first thought. What took so long? I know it's a process and all that, but this had to be the answer, right? The team
Yep.
responded as soon as Pierce took over as head coach. They played better. They won more games, and they rallied behind. They rallied behind this particular coach, especially after being so confused, back to confused and bewildered behind their previous one, two, at least two coaches. I can't even think of who the third coach removed would be, but yeah, it's been some confusion in Vegas, and hopefully Antonio Pierce can clear the path. The only surprise for me is that they hired Pierce before a GM, so now the GM search is based on Pierce being the coach.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting, but I think too that was the right move, and I think Mark Davis understood that. Hey, I may have made possibly made a mistake not listening to my guys when Bisaccia was there. And a lot of people thought they want to keep Rich Bisaccia, and then he didn't keep him, after the whole ordeal. And then you have players like Max Crosby coming out talking about, if this man don't get the job, I'm going to be looking for a trade. We talked several times about Josh Jacobs. And the significance of that is he loves the guy. If you remember, before this whole situation, before the season started, there was ramblings about he wanted to move. I think about Josh Jacobs as a guy that's 2 years removed from leading the league in rushing. And what better guy to have than an Antonio Pierce, who, what was it, Super Bowl? He was on the Giants team that won Super Bowl 42. And there was a lot of smashing going on. You had little Ahmad Bradshaw, but you had Big Boy Jacobs. You know what I'm saying? So he knows about running the football. And I think that this is a great move, because in the league now, when we talk about how valuable are running backs, you obviously have a guy who still got the juice. Like I say, 2 years ago that led the league in rushing. And then there was a great, great improvement in the second half of the season with him running the ball before he got hurt. So, if the running game is going to be your foundation, hey, I'm all for it, man. I think this is absolutely the right move.
Yeah, I'm glad they got it done quickly. Got Pierce off the board because there's so many more coaching vacancies, and the dominoes are starting to fall now. So hopefully we will see some more moves here in the near future.
Even the haters say it was a good move. So
Is that Cliff? Oh, Raider hater. Sorry.
Yeah. So that's Kerry. What's going on, Kerry? Yeah. So great move, man. Glad they did that for him, and hopefully big things come down the pipeline for Raider Nation. I know my brother Randy Dock was ecstatic, so I'm pretty sure he'll be inviting me over to the crib to drink some of that yak, sit out on the patio and smoke a cigar. I don't even smoke cigars, but I do one with my brother. You see what I'm saying?
Celebration. It's a celebration.
It's a celebration. Yeah, so I might be a little too cold out there to sit on the deck though right now.
For real.
23 degrees last night. I don't know if I'm trying to do all that, but I'm just saying.
Wait till Wednesday, and it'll be all right. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's about to.
I'm coming through, man. I'm coming through.
About to jump.
Get Zach and Rook on the phone. I'll be down there. So good morning, Josh. What's up, Joe? What's going on, Jody? What's up, my man? Yeah. So we'll see what happens with Raider Nation, man. But they are stoked, and I'm stoked for them. Next up, of course, a couple of obvious guys. Number one, Bill Belichick. All right, and so we're hearing that he is Atlanta's top candidate, supposedly, even though it came out the day before yesterday that they're going to bring Harbaugh back in for a second interview. So both of these guys are getting 2 interviews with the organization. And I don't know how you feel about it. I just feel like from everything that Bill Belichick is saying about the organization he would like to run with, I think Atlanta would be perfect. I don't think we have to worry about seeing Bill up in Magic City and nothing like that, if we get over there. But as far as what they got for that organization, you think about it. He said he wants to kind of put something together. Now, I know he's used to dealing with quarterbacks in the last few that he had. Well, he tried to jiggle in after Brady, especially Mac 10 wasn't all that successful. So I'm pretty sure that Ritter is not in his plans, and he shouldn't be. But if they can get Bill Belichick in Atlanta and then maybe make a move, we're still talking about, what's going to go down with Justin Fields, possibly. I think there's a situation that should be looked at. They can get him in, and maybe, I don't know, Kirk Cousins. I got Kirk Cousins. I think you bring Kirk over to a team that's a great mix of young talent and veterans as well. And then the one thing that sticks out for me, if you look at the New England way, is they always run with 2 tight ends. Always run with 2 tight ends. And you got 2 pretty darn good ones over there in Atlanta. So I think if we're talking about the Atlanta job, I think Belichick I like Belichick over Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see which way they lean. Uh, I mean, it's hard to tell somebody don't go with Bill Belichick. That seems like automatic. If he wants you, you should probably want him in most situations, or probably in most people's eyes. When you look at Harbaugh, though, you go back to Alex Smith and then Colin Kaepernick. If you're thinking about that whole trade to pick or trade picks for Justin Fields, bring Fields in, and no, I wouldn't be mad or really surprised at that. I don't know. I haven't talked to any Atlanta fans about if they have a preference, but I mean, you can't really go wrong with either one for real. You can't go wrong with either one. I just think Harbaugh may be a little bit. Well, obviously he's younger, but may be a little bit better fit if they go the way of Justin Fields. If they went the way of Kirk Cousins, I wouldn't be mad at Bill Belichick though.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Harbaugh is going to be fine wherever he goes, right? If it is the pros, because we're seeing too where the reports are coming out through the college football networks that he's seeking some type of immunity in the college game. So meaning if he were to come back, that y'all can't come back and get me for this or pull this out that, and he get hit in Michigan, get hit with more, hit with some sanctions or whatever. But I don't know. Harbaugh life seemed too perfect for me. Like every time they show, the old football coach dad, he's got a successful brother in the league competing for a Super Bowl. He's got the wonderful mother that just loves her son. Every time we see stuff like that, there's a downfall. And while I'm not worried about Belichick so much, we'll mess around and get a video like his second year in Atlanta trying to disguise his face, and he's sitting up in the back of like Onyx or Club Allure. I mean, fellas, y'all know what that is. with a glass and it says "Life too perfect, man." I don't know if he need to be in Atlanta. So that's just me. So
that's fair. That's fair.
It's too perfect, We get the tabloids of this man, walking out of one of them joints, man, huddled up in the back corner. But anyway, but I think both of them will be successful.
Belichick might hit a club too. You gotta think Belichick like to be on the road with who? Was it Bon Jovi? Who was he on the road with? Rock band during the summer. Somebody. Then you go back to Bob Kraft. You'd be like, hey, maybe this is Belichick's label. We just don't know it. I don't know.
Catch him come out of platinum.
Catch him out the blue flame.
But you never know. But a lot of talk about Harbaugh and his Chargers too, and I know Caesar likes that. Caesar, now you ain't talk your way out of getting on the show today. We just had a change. So if anybody don't know, for those of you, I don't know how Caesar has a fan club. I do not know. I do not get it. But first of all, congratulations on the little one. I will say that. I'm gonna give you congrats on that, man. It's cute.
Wait, do you want to ask the question, or should I?
You go ahead.
Is that baby named after me?
He did all that to get it, just to get on the show.
Confused.
Just to get on the show.
He didn't say the baby middle name, did he? Middle name might be Christopher.
I didn't see it.
It might be Christopher. Miguel Christopher.
Just to get on the show, man.
Dang.
Nevertheless, congratulations again to Caesar and the missus, man. That's great, man. I'm so happy for you guys. But no, with the Caesar's fan club about when Caesar, you're gonna let Caesar come on. You guys got to understand that Caesar was actually supposed to be on the show last week, and when I had some other guys on, then Caesar decided to wait till this week, and he wanted to get on when Source was on. Then we ended up going a little bit earlier, and then we're having a problem with one of the links as well, Caesar. So that is why you're not on the show today. So you hadn't talked yourself out of nothing. Now I know today's Sunday. I don't know who could he tee off today? We got Can't say nothing about the Niners. You continue with the Cowboys of Philly nonsense. I mean, you got but a couple of Bucks fans that I know of in the group, and I ain't gonna put them out there in case y'all don't know, because one of them cool with me. He don't bother nobody. Then we got Chiefs and Bills. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe next week, season, depending on how you act this week. So.
Season need to come on all Pro Bowl week when ain't
Pro
nothing
Bowl.
going on.
Not Pro Bowl week. That's crazy. But yeah, I think Jim Harbaugh would be perfect for that organization, though. Even though he's getting that second interview in the ATL, so we're gonna see what happens with that. Then we get to the bottom corner, and there's a quick question mark because Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he belongs on the page with any of these guys, but the reason I put him up here is because that even after the debacle defensively last week with the Dallas Cowboys, this guy continues to get job interviews. He has had a ton of them and still has some lined up. No, he's interviewed already. I think he did a Zoom interview, I believe, with Seattle already, if I read it right. Then he may be meeting with them again. But he's already talked to the Titans and the Chargers. There's the Panthers, even though I don't know why anybody would want that job. And there's the Commanders, believe it or not, which still supposedly one of the most attractive jobs out there. So Dan Quinn's name continued to circulate, and a lot of the questions were how much did last week's performance by his defense hurt his chances? I told people he's going to still get calls. Whether anybody pulls the trigger is a whole nother story, but he's still going to get calls just because of experience. And then people look at the good stuff just as much as they look at the bad stuff. And I might be in the minority, even though his defense stinks in a lot of ways, that I think that I kind of still like him in Seattle. I really do.
That's what you're saying, especially with Pete Carroll in the area.
That's crazy. You ain't even hearing Pete Carroll's name nowhere. But
I'm saying as far as in Seattle, if he's in that Bruce Arians type role,
right?
I don't know what that really means. I don't know that in reality, like, you're not going to look at Dan Quinn because of a bad playoff game. If you're looking at the body of work as opposed to the one moment having at a bad time. And it's not like this is the regular, like this is not what was expected. So
you know how people think, though. You know how people do. They so in the moment.
Yeah, that's the people, but people ain't that smart usually. So, yeah. So I don't have any problem with Dan Quinn being in this picture because he's definitely a candidate for a few teams, as you can tell by the interviews. So he deserves to be there.
The interesting thing is, if he does not get a head coaching job, is he still a part of the Dallas Cowboys? And by reports coming out of Cowboy land, that he's going to be. All right. And I know, depending on which Cowboy fan you ask, some are happy with it, some of them are not happy with that. Him possibly coming back. I caution people with this, though, Source, because I say the biggest argument when we talk about a lot of teams, we'll just talk about the Cowboys on this one, because this is all I heard on other shows and this past week, and a couple of them some local folks that are around here where we are, is that when you why get rid of Dak Prescott, right? What are we going to do? Who's going to be our quarterback? Who's going to do this? Well, my thing is, I'm not saying get rid of that quarterback. That's a little more complicated right now, what you have to go through contract-wise and no trade clause-wise. It's not really about Dak, but the same argument about what you're going to do. If you get rid of Dan Quinn and what you've built, a 12-win team. And just like we like to talk about Dak Prescott being a big reason they've won 12 games each of the last 3 seasons, even with all the downs the Cowboys have had, that defense has had something to do with them winning 12 games too. A lot of those games. So I don't know if necessarily moving on from Dan Quinn at this juncture, if he doesn't get a head coaching job, is absolutely the best move. Right. I do agree that some changes need to be made in how they, deploy this defense, but I don't know if it's necessarily the best move with the obvious news of Dan McCarthy coming back to the Dallas Cowboys. If getting rid of Dan Quinn is the absolute, fix all, I'm probably on the fence of more along the lines of, well, should I go and like to keep him at least another year if he's going to still be out there?
Right. Yeah. I mean, change for change's sake, I don't know. Like, it sounds good. And if you listen to the fans, like, you'd be in trouble. Speaking of which, have you seen the video, TikTok, I believe, of the gentleman describing being a Cowboys fan?
Which one?
Yeah,
I'm sure there. Of them, bro.
I'm sure there are plenty. This one, he is.
He's talking about the kind of like the cycle of what we about us spending our money.
This is a black guy.
Uh-huh.
Younger, I guess. And he's just talking. He's doing a comparison. I wish I could look. Now that I brought it up, I can't think of what it is he compared. Right. But it was like it was a great comparison. I just can't remember what it was off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I was just curious if you had seen that and if you had any
thoughts. The thing is, I thought about if I gotta fix this video situation. If we're thinking about the same one, I thought about playing it here.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Okay. It's the right one then. It's the right one.
Yeah, it's the same one. And he's I think that he's spitting some facts in there, but I think, to be honest with you, I think a lot of people already feel that way. You know what I'm saying? I just think that it's just he did such a profound job with it. And at the time that he put it out, it's really resonating. People put out a lot of good stuff every year after the Cowboys lose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's usually a Cowboy fan put out a lot of good content about the reasons we do this and this about jury and the cycle and how all types of stuff. And so, but he was really good.
Man, why can't I remember what he said at the beginning or what?
I probably got it in my messages because I got sent a bunch of stuff too. But I know what you're talking. It's the same video.
Yeah, that's what happened. Somebody sent it to me, and I just can't remember who sent it to me to even look it up. But man, yeah, as long as you saw it, that's really the
yeah. I did. And I would say this too, not that I have to, but I just want to know while we speaking on the Dallas Cowboys that y'all got me out of character a little bit last week, but I was just giving it to because some of y'all deserved it. Yeah, some of y'all deserved it. So y'all know I don't say nothing. I don't really fall into that week to week BS, whether it's a Cowboy fan saying it because none of them trash, or if it's some of you others out here saying it. But yeah, y'all had it coming, and all y'all was smart not to retaliate at the kid. I'm loaded, man. I'm loaded. So just want to put it out there. Some of y'all trash.
That's wild, Brian, because I had a similar response myself to some people. I did a live. I went live during the game, like at halftime. I went live. I was playing music at halftime. People was coming through talking about whatever. But I actually stayed live from halftime till like 2.5 hours after the game. Probably 2 hours after the game. Man, I don't know what else was going on. I don't know what other Eagles fans were live and talking, but not every person, every third person that came in only wanted to talk crazy. And it was people I ain't never seen before. And they were talking crazy. I'm like, what? Here I am talking about, the Eagles look terrible. This talk about the last 6 weeks leading up to last week. No excuses. No, like, this is what it was. And it was just randos coming in talking, oh, no more fly, Eagles fly. Oh, cry, Eagles cry. I was like, what is wrong with y'all? I don't even know y'all. Like, what y'all coming over here for with that stupidity? Then I was going back and forth with you. It was terrible. It was terrible. And I wasn't even frustrated or mad. I was just looking crazy, like, what is happening in the game? Like, this is ridiculous. Hate to see it. But everybody's doing what they have done for the last month plus.
Right.
Seems like a fair thing. I don't know. But one guy actually came in and was like, if you saw the way these other Eagles fans are on right now and talking crazy and making excuses and blah, 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 that's why the people keep coming in. I'm like, I ain't got nothing to do with all that. That ain't got nothing to do with me. You come over here, we talk with some kind of sense, some kind of logic. Anyway, yeah.
Why people think just because you're a fan that they just automatically lump you in there with everybody else?
That's exactly what happened.
That's because your homeboy that you went to high school with, the fool on your job, always talking reckless. You know what I'm saying? They happen to be a fan of another team. You got to group me in with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why? I can't even walk in I can't even walk in Wawa with a Dallas Cowboy hat on. I'm trying to stir my coffee. All up in that. Yeah, y'all quarterback trash. Oh, inside the third level. Y'all just knew y'all was gonna. What happened? And I'm like, and I'm gonna tell you the worst one. Let me tell you the worst one. And this ain't the only time it happened, but I can speak on it because it just happened yesterday.
Mm.
I had a guy. Now it's a guy that I know, and he's from Philadelphia. He's from Philadelphia, and he he comes around. He always he sells he always have meats like steaks, chicken. He always pops when you probably seen people. They go around and they have a little refrigerated truck, and they go around and they always selling stuff. I've known this guy for years. He's been coming by my job. I even let him store some of the stuff at my job sometime in one of the freezers But anyway, he gonna come up to me yesterday, bro, and the first thing he said was, keep in mind he has an Eagles hat on when he walks in. I'm minding my business. Hey, what up, man? What up? He wants some stuff. I said, I'm good. That's you can put him in there. Yeah, man. Them Cowboys. What happened to them Cowboys, bro? And I'm sitting there like, first of all, I minding my business. Second of all, how dare you walk up to me and ask me what happened to the Cowboys, and you a Philadelphia Eagle fan that got beat on the same week. Like, did I miss something? Right? So and I'm like, it's all good to have fun, but are we really doing this? You see what I'm saying? You just gotta be, and I don't buy the excuse either. Granted, I gave you all the props in the world because you said this a long time ago about when the Eagles first started to fall. All right, and they started to have their issues and things of that nature. But as we got closer to the playoffs, folks act like I'm supposed to feel sorry for the Eagles because y'all playing bad when y'all haven't gone through what y'all going through. So you seem like a built-in excuse. When I'm smart enough to know, on the flip side, if that had been the Dallas Cowboys, y'all ain't holding no sympathy for the Cowboys having to go through the playoffs, hurt and beat up and not playing well. But you get offended when somebody else brings that up. My whole thing was, and I kept hearing it, and the guy said the same thing yesterday too, what I've been hearing. Oh, we knew we weren't good going in. We knew we were. Okay. Are you going to hold the same grace for me? If I'm stumbling in the playoffs, Dak ain't playing well. Oh, much less let it been Cooper Rush had to navigate us to the first round. Y'all ain't showing the Cowboy fans no sympathy. But as soon as I pull a you, on the flip side, it's a problem. That's all I'm saying. Oh, y'all act like the Cowboy. Then we had a comment, and I ain't gonna put bro out there because he good dude in the SBP. But he said, y'all act like the Cowboy fans won't talking. And I was getting ready to respond. I said, bro, I understand. There probably was some Cowboy fans talking. How much of that, I can't speak of what's going on in the streets, and I can't control the people in the SBP. But I would challenge you to go through this whole year and call it because we used to being disappointed or whatever. outside of Jay Holler, Jay gonna be Jay. Go find me the rest of these Cowboy fans in here that was consistently talking trash, unless they were just throwing it back from what they got. That's all I'm saying. So my outside of a couple of people that I knew that I put on my main page, the other stuff was for the people in the group. But you're gonna be hard to find any Cowboy fans in the group that ran their mouth the whole year outside of Jay Holler. Unless we had just got something. And that's not to say nothing about Commanders, the Eagles, or anybody else, right? But it's just what it is, right? It's just what it is. And the reason being, we're used to being disappointed. So we know it's coming. People that we call it humility or whatever. A lot of people in the group knew they don't need us running our mouth because disappointment probably coming. We can own that. We can own that. So they didn't run their mouth. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's why I guess some of them was so happy when I bucked back a little bit because they ain't gonna say nothing. I'm like, hey, get them, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because they used to people coming at them. And that's not, I'm not down to down just any team. But it's just funny how everybody groups people in with everybody else. That's because people outside talking reckless.
You know what it is for Cowboy and Eagles fans? It is, oh man, it is comparing. It's not tragedies. I forgot the phrasing, but yeah, comparing struggles. Basically, what it is, comparing struggles. Eagles fans want to look at the Cowboys fans, be like, y'all lost worse. Cowboys fans want to look at the Eagles fans, be like, y'all lost worse. The whole thing is the other 30 teams, including Washington and the Giants, are just laughing at both of us. That's what it is. They just laughing at both of us. But we over here like, y'all worse. No, y'all worse. No, the way y'all fell apart. No, the way y'all fell apart. Like, you lost at home and you won a division. You lost 6 of your last 7 games. Like,
yeah, you know, that did what he does. Well, y'all started 10-1 and didn't win but one game the rest of the year. You know, blah blah blah.
Yep.
It's just, and it's all in fun. I don't have a problem with, we have fun jabbing, but it's just like some of the craziness that follows like afterward. I'm not going to defend Cowboy fans in the group because they Cowboys, because you know how I feel about Cowboy fans, right? A lot of Cowboy fans. But I can honestly say, because don't get me wrong, if they talked it without being poked first, I won't let them eat whatever they got. They had what was coming to them. I don't care if they wear a star on their chest, they got a cowboy helmet sitting in their house, whatever. I'm going to let them get what was coming to them, right? Yeah. But my point is, you're going to be hard pressed to go through the whole year and find a lot of trash talk that was started. Now, if you want to say it was trash talk because they were happy that we won a game, because that seems to be the thing. The Cowboys won a game. We can't eat, and I know everybody, hey, you're supposed to hate we them boys if you're not a Cowboy fan. But the one thing I've never understood though is we can beat them boys to us. We ain't got to beat them boys to you. So how different is we them boys? We saying we them boys different from bang bang 9 a game or fly Eagles fly. If the excuse is because the 49ers have been to a Super Bowl more recently than the Dallas Cowboys, so that gives you the right to say bang bang 9 a game. Well, the last time you won it though. Okay, as far as the Eagles, respect for they won the most recent Super Bowl, you know, out of these teams that we're talking about, right? But I was saying fly Eagles fly before y'all even got to that Super Bowl. So what is so hurtful about we them boys? We can we them boys, because one thing y'all ain't figured out yet, we gonna claim we them boys if we get beat 50-3. That's just what it is. I'm saying it ain't smack talk. That's just what we say. So I'm just saying, people funny, man. People funny, you know.
Go Big Blue. Is that what it is? Ed? Go Big Blue.
Speaking of these two teams, when we get to these games, right? It's funny. This came up because we're talking about coaching news, right? First off, well, I'll jump to the right. Mike McCarthy, since we already know that he's coming back as a Dallas Cowboys coach again next season. A lot of mixed feelings about that. After I put up all the Belichick memes and all that stuff, and I asked anybody got Harbaugh's number. last Sunday night and all that, I came to the realization. I said, I don't know if Jerry really gonna fire this man. I even put it in the group, put it on my personal page. I don't even know if Jerry gonna fire this man for real, right? And sure enough, he's not gonna fire. Two reasons I thought that was in question, because one is Jerry Jones. And if you know Jerry Jones, you remember we were clamoring for him to get rid of Jason Garrett, and he kept holding on because he had so much hope for Jason Garrett, and Jerry wants to be right. And just when we didn't think he was going to give Jason Garrett that contract extension, I think what was it, 2014? I think it was. They won 12 games, right? Say, dang, now Jerry getting what he wants. He gonna stay the coach, and Jerry gave this man a 5-year contract extension. Right? Ends up getting fired a few years later when he went 8-8, but still, Jerry is Jerry. But I also thought about it too. Mike McCarthy is in the last year of his contract, right? And is Jerry going to weigh out the fact that we just won 12 games, we've been successful during his tenure here, and he only has 1 year left on his deal? Do I give him another shot? And we just see what kind of changes be made. And that's what kind of I thought was going to happen, and that's what happened. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't want him back, but I understood why Jerry probably was going to bring him back. And I'm not as upset as a lot of Cowboy fans, even though I still would be a lot happier today if the news were different.
Mm-hmm. Who would you want to lead the Cowboys, though?
That's a good question. I don't know if there is a right answer. You know, the Belichick thing was flying, but people were definitely convinced that Belichick couldn't coexist with Jerry, and that may be true.
Yeah,
that may be true. But we also heard that Belichick had talked about in his new position, possibly wherever he landed, giving up some responsibilities as well. My argument with the Cowboy thing is, when we're talking about egos, is people can't let go of history, and that's understandable. But we have learned over the past few years that it's not just Jerry Jones. He might have the final say, but it's not just Jerry Jones out here shopping for the groceries either. You know, we've got Will McClay, who has established himself as one of the better talent evaluators, and they lean on him heavily when we're talking about drafting or even making some free agent moves. So it's not all about Jerry. But I don't know if there's a coach out there. The one thing that does intrigue me, that would have intrigued me, would have been Mike Vrabel. Because Mike Vrabel, one, is a hard-nosed coach. So you need that discipline. Two, he likes to attempt to run the football. And that might have upped our chances of maybe landing King Henry, who is probably gone. I would love to see Mike Vrabel as a Dallas Cowboy. Even, be honest with you, even more so than Bill Belichick. But if you want to fix that defense, though, Belichick would have been the move. If you want to fix the issues that you do have, a defense that's sometimes great and then other weeks are horrible, Belichick would have been the move. But I don't know, man. But you got a situation too, because Sirianni, they have yet to say what they're going to do with Nick Sirianni. And Adam Schefter was reporting day before yesterday, that all things are pointing towards he may be returning as a Philadelphia Eagles coach with some changes. How you feel about that?
I'm indifferent, to be honest, because I feel like there's information within these last 7 weeks. There's something in there that we don't know. I feel like there's something. I mean, there's always something that we don't know. But I feel like there's a big something that we don't know, and it's kind of hanging over the head of the team. I really don't have a finger to point anywhere, because I feel like we're in a cloud and we don't have the full picture. I feel like we don't have a full picture. I feel like, when you used to stay up late and watch a show, it'd be like 1:30, 2 o'clock, and then the fuzzy station come on.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm looking at trying to figure out the Eagles right now and what's going to happen going forward, because Nothing is clear. They've been on Howie back. We Eagles fans been on Howie back prior to the Super Bowl. Then they were on his side after the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Then they were uh, back on his back a couple years after the Super Bowl. Then, more recently, they've been on his side again. Now they it's very confusing. It's a lot going on, and I feel like we're all day to day. We're all day to day in the organization, in the league for real, because people are fickle. People are fickle. They'll turn on you in a minute. So we'll see about Sirianni. I don't know. I think a lot of, not blame, but a lot of what happened was the loss of coordinators coming into the season. Then you got two young men out there joint, young man, first year. And even though the record went, 10-1 early, people was looking crazy. It was looking crazy. To me, it was looking crazy. So I don't know. There's going to be some changes, though. There's got to be some type of change, whether it's Sirianni or not. It's got to be some changes, and we just have to ride it out and see what happens.
Yeah, one of the changes I would guess would probably be Matt Patricia. Y'all put this man in position to run the defense that was struggling, and it seemed to me it got worse. The defense got worse, back there. I mean, I know you had some issues and some injuries, like with Slay. You had the continued terrible play of your boy James Badbury. Y'all got to do something about that. And I just don't know if my guy, Kevin Byard, I don't know if y'all had a chance to really work him in the way, use him the way he can be used, because he's a phenomenal player, but just seemed like he didn't just look right with y'all.
Yeah.
Watching it. The Shaq Leonard move. I don't know. Like the defense just got worse, man. And now you're talking about the changes. Hot candidate. We talking about coaches. Your boy, Brian Johnson.
Crazy, right?
Hot. Even through all your struggles, he is a hot candidate. Name popping up everywhere. Last I saw, I believe it was the Titans, Falcons, and Panthers were very interested in his services. So he interviewing for head coaching jobs, bro.
And you know what we, the fans, never take into consideration? Some people are not good at certain jobs. And it's first year coordinator. But some people are just not good at certain jobs.
Yeah.
But you put them in a different position and they might shine. You might have first thing, I think of Norv Turner when I say that.
Norville.
You may be like, OC, oh, that's that dude. He'd be like, head coach, I don't know, it's whatever. But I feel like, not that it's necessarily you've reached your peak. Maybe you're a better head coach. Maybe you're better overseeing the process than you are at the specifics of one side. It could be. So I don't know. I mean, that's what the GMs and the team press is for. So they will make that decision. And if we see Brian Johnson with a head coaching job and he does well, I mean, Eagles fans will be like, but it comes back to this.
Yeah, a lot of questions for both teams, man. West, whoever the coach is needs to bring discipline, preparation, and crucial game decisions as far as play calling and clock management. McCarthy repeatedly fails in these areas throughout his career. There's candidates out there that would be an upgrade for McCarthy. I think the real question is who would be the offensive coordinator. So the interesting thing about this is, and that's very good, what he put is,
Hold on, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't Kellen Moore fault?
Well, that's what a lot of Cowboy fans say was Kellen Moore's fault. But this is a tangled web, because it was Kellen Moore's fault because he wanted to pass the ball in obvious running situations.
Right.
And which was the 3 and the 3rd and 1s and all that. He wants to pass the football 4th and inches. He wants to pull out a pass play. You know, Kellen Moore goes to the Chargers. We don't hear nothing else about Kellen Moore, right? And the offense changes in Dallas. We get rid of Zeke. Everybody was on board with that, supposedly, because he was the problem. And now we couldn't run the football the way we wanted to save our life. Tony Pollard is the future. He's an every down back. And we can see that's not the issue. They bring in Schottenheimer as the OC this year, who I will admit I do like some of the strategies that he used and some of the formations and some of the things they were doing, but they just couldn't run the football. I don't know if that's all Schottenheimer's fault because they did attempt to run it, right? So, but that is interesting. But as Wes was saying, if you look at this here, so first of all, we got to assume that McCarthy is not going to be the coach after next year, because my thing is, Jerry already said he's not extending him, right? So he's going to have to play and earn his contract. What's going to happen if the Cowboys win 12, 13 games next year? And Jerry gets out there and they don't lose, they don't get blown out this time, and it's close.
Or they win one game.
They win that. Oh yeah, and they win one game, and they don't. When they lose in the playoffs in the second round or whatever they lose at, it's not a ugly loss.
Right.
But what do?
You like forward movement.
We were so close, you know, and I feel like we're right on the doorstep, and I like this team. And I think Mike gives us the best chance of reaching our ultimate goal. You know, we were so close this year. Yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah.
It's almost like the tale of two. So it's almost like we got to fall down on our faces and take all the laughing that's going to come our way and all the Facebook posts and the nagging. We're going to have to mess around and win like 9 games next year.
Let it be under 5. Let it be 5. Can't be 500. Let it be under 500, boy.
Cowboy fans, are we ready for that? Are we really ready to do that? Right? Are we really ready to do that? I mean, if y'all say y'all ready, okay, we be ready. Let's win 9 games next year and get the man about this. So if y'all ready to suffer for a year, okay. You know, I think it's going to come down to the way. Now we win a playoff game, we get to the next game and get blown out again, or we lose on something dumb that he possibly could have prevented, then that might be a different discussion. But the Cowboys are good next year. He may not get that. I'm not saying that he's going to give him the 5-year extension that he gave Jason Garrett, but it might be 2 or 3 years on there. So I'm just saying. You know, I'm just saying. So that's interesting. But the offensive part is one thing, and the defensive thing is another thing too, because you got to think that even if Quinn is gone or is not gone, they have to make a change defensively, at least with them linebackers, bro, because they're getting us in trouble. Look, them safeties playing linebacker, it ain't working.
Right.
It ain't working, bro. Somebody running down your throat like that, you're going to devise a scheme, get out of that zone, get some people that can play man or play zone schematically only on certain time. You know, they went to the game last week and got blasted. And I saw something, was it 46 out of 54 possessions, I think it was? They had 6 DBs in there. Where they do that at?
6?
Yeah.
Hey, West say going on injured reserve next season? I'm out.
Hey, look, I would tell you, so for those who don't know, Wes is my son. And my other son, he ain't coming on here because he upset. I ain't gonna tell you stuff he was posting, but yeah, they it ain't pretty. But both of them might be on injured reserve themselves next year. Yeah, for the game till we do something. They decide they want to come back. They might take the year off, but yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Let's get into let me see. These couple of these comments, we're gonna get to these games and get out of here.
Oh shoot, yeah.
Parsons didn't show up last game. Well, did he or didn't he? So no, he didn't have that typical. Well, I don't know what's typical of him no more because he's not. It's not always about sacks with him. A lot of it's about pressure. And if you go back and watch that game, I can pull up plenty of clips. He was standing right there in Jordan Love's face. Love would just you think about, man, he had about 3 or 4 plays. Love held the ball to the possible last second, bro. Throw it to somebody sitting there wide open, you know. But as far as the Parsons thing, I do think that whether it's Quinn next year or somebody else, I think they need to find another way to use Michael Parsons. And when I say that, I'm not saying do not have him rush the quarterback on that end, but I'd be anxious to see them use him, go back to using him just as much as a linebacker. Because if you can bring those other players back, I mean, unless you're going to do another crazy restructure or do something with D-Law and some of those guys in that middle, because you only really got one prominent defensive lineman in the end that's, well, maybe 2. Really one when it comes to the pass rush that's up for a possible contract and might not be on there. You're going to be able to get a pass rush regardless, I think. I think you got to find some different things to do with Michael Parsons.
Hey, that's what I thought too, Prime. Look at the Eagles. I thought we could just manufacture a rush as well after last year. Not so much. But
if you look, the one thing I say about the Cowboys is, and year to year, you're right. You're definitely right, Source. One thing I say about the Cowboys is if you look at them, they're getting just as much pressure on the opposite side of the line as they are the side that he's on. When they line him up, they get busy. So I think they can find a way to manufacture pressure, make Michael Parsons a little more situational on where you want to line him up, keep the defense guessing. Because I think with his 6-foot speed, he can be just as effective back at that linebacker position. I mean, you already have him on certain plays covering people coming out of the backfield anyway. You know, so I don't know.
We gonna see.
Yeah, we gonna see. Let's get into these. Games, man. If we get out of here, so we're in the divisional round, and what did you think about what you saw yesterday? Starting with the Texans and the Ravens. Of course, the Ravens beating the brakes off of Houston, 34-10.
Hey, you let some people tell it. Houston was in the game; they was balling, and not that the game was a blowout. Not that the game was a blowout early. You know, Houston was able to maintain with the punt return and the field goal, keep it close. But them people put up no points on offense.
People they need to score offense. They didn't score offensive touchdown.
They scored a touchdown. Yeah.
They come on the punt return.
That's it. Yeah, they got smacked. Then you got foolishness on the page, courtesy of the Noid, as you would like to refer to him, questioning Lamar Jackson. As Lamar Jackson said at 10 for 15 on the day, this is why we can't have nice things, because y'all just be looking for a read. Some of y'all just comment just to y'all want to be right so bad about something. Y'all just be saying anything and just hope that it stick.
Throw it against the wall. Our group either, which was crazy, but that's another story. But yeah,
throw it against the wall, hope that it stick. Like something I say got to make sense. Even if it's wrong, could be right. Because a broken clock is right twice a day, right? So you say enough stuff, you're bound to be right at some point in time. But yeah, Lamar, MVP, talk about it, break it down however you need to, but you see it on the field, 2 touchdowns on the ground, 2 touchdowns in the air. They talk about, remember when they used to say a man couldn't throw? Remember, the funny part is they still say he can't throw from the pocket. That man be chilling in the pocket all the time. Chilling, patient. What more do you want from the man? That's all I want to know. The rules change, boy. Them rules be changing when it's different people. The rules change and the qualifications change. Y'all crazy.
Hey, look, we'll respond to this right here. And while I do agree with this comment, I do agree. We know, but those guys. Well, Noah Brown just went on IR this past week, and if you remember, he was in the game. He went out early in the game last week when they won. Right? They've been without Tank Dell for several weeks now. So undoubtedly, they came into this game short-handed, but they were still able to handle business most of the way. Would this have been a different game if they could have come in, because they came into the playoffs without Tank Dell, so we can throw that out.
Exactly.
All right, we can go ahead and throw that out. And if you know anything about Noah Brown, if you remember those last few weeks of the season when he was in and out because of injury, he wasn't effective coming into the playoffs. So these guys are going to make Houston definitely one of the top teams, more than likely going into next year. But let's not take anything away from what Lamar and them did to them yesterday, because that defense that Lamar has is, if you don't believe they had a good defense, you ain't never know, you know now. That's one. All right, because last week folks couldn't stop him. And two, y'all all enamored with the fact that Lamar didn't throw for 200 yards. Okay, threw for a buck 52, but he ran for 100. He gave you 2 with his legs, 2 with his arm, as far as the end zone, 4 total touchdowns. Right? You know, it is what it is. And it ain't just our group; it's a lot of groups. Instead of us focusing on. So what are y'all saying? So if Tank Dell and Noah Brown played, so the game would have been 34-22. Like, we don't know what would have happened, but let's just not take shade, try to shade Lamar. That's because they didn't have their players. You know what I'm saying? He been playing without Mark Andrews. I mean, what are you talking about?
Tank Dell been hurt. Like, he didn't just get hurt a week ago. He been hurt. The fact that people are using Noah Brown in any type of sentence,
because he had a couple of good weeks.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I saw him do a couple of things, but that's crazy. If Noah Brown would have been there, really? That's what we doing? Stop it.
Yeah, look, people, but see, but nobody give Lamar credit. Lamar on about his 4th running back. I mean, you can't keep a running back.
No, he supposed to do
season. 1 week Bateman out, OBJ out. You know what I'm saying? Took Zay a while to get started. No Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews was supposed to play yesterday. Isaiah said, "Don't worry about it. I got you another week." I mean, give that man some respect, because he mad because he ain't throwing for 300 a game.
Nelson Aguilar scored a touchdown, bro.
He got his first playoff touchdown.
He never scored a touchdown. Ain't in the playoffs. Shout out to my man Rob. He sent me 9 years. Took him 9 years. Eagle fan, of course. Took him 9 years because he trash. Yeah.
Yeah, so just understand, he's gone through adversity too. I'm not sitting there telling you Lamar going to win the Super Bowl. As I know, they can lose next week. I'm just telling you, put some respect on his name and give him the props that he deserves. He should be the MVP, in my personal opinion. We'll see what happens when the voting comes out. But to me, he should be the MVP. Then y'all can go make y'all little crying remarks about how the stats don't hold up. I'm happy for the man that they got out the first round, because you remember the last time he won the MVP, they lost in the first round.
Ooh, they got blah, blah, blah.
What happens next week got nothing to do with what I'm talking about right now. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah. So, and nothing gonna be enough unless they win a Super Bowl. In that regard, that when somebody said previously about Dak and Lamar being similar in some fashions, the fact that nobody's gonna be happy unless they win a Super Bowl it's wild. It's wild. Yeah, I mean, man, you would swear Josh Allen had two Super Bowls. You would swear Josh Allen had 2 Super Bowls.
It is what it is. What about that? What you think about that Packers Niners joint last night? So close.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I picked the Niners, but I was with Kelsey, so we were rooting for the Packers. I was all about the Packers winning. Man, I just wanted to laugh. I just wanted to add the 49ers fans to the and I don't even be like, oh, we all on the couch together normally, but they feeling a little too good about themselves right now, and to have seen them with not one but two MVP candidates for some odd reason. Like, you can have 2 MVP candidates on one team, because how would you have 2? If you got 2, then you got none. But anyway, it would have been hilarious if they would have lost. It would have been hilarious. I was ready for the "Is this your MVP? Is this your MVP?" Imagine pointing back to when Debo got hurt during the season and what happened to Brock Purdy, and then seeing it happen again yesterday, but this time they happened to pull it out, and got to give Brock Purdy props for a
You have
couple of
to.
those passes, and especially in that last drive.
Jennings on
But
that one catch, man. I was, whoa.
yeah, across the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had pressure in his face.
Mm-hmm.
Purdy had pressure in his face. Man, they would have lost that game. Oh yeah, I ain't saying I was going in, but I definitely was pointing back to that. Debo went out, and this man fell apart because he did until
Yeah.
then.
There's your proof again. You went on the show a couple weeks ago. Now, when I was talking to Divisional, I said, and they were giving all the props to McCaffrey. McCaffrey deserves everything he gets, but the offense, don't get it twisted. The offense stymied without Debo, and when Debo went out, they weren't all that productive,
At all.
at all. That's Debo make that thing go. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with him down the line going into next week. But yeah, I agree with you. We got to give Purdy. I got to give him props on that last drive. He did what we ask a lot of our favorite quarterbacks to do when the game is on the line. I don't care what happened early.
Right.
Get me what I need when I need it when it's crucial. And yeah, he was nice on that last drive. I mean, some nice catches on it, but he was calm enough.
Man,
you got to give him props for that.
Bro, I forgot Chris Conley was even in the league. I literally said I forgot Chris Conley was in the league. And here he go. And how he always get the same number wherever he go?
He's lucky. Maybe say I don't put me on the active roster until that number become available. I start a practice squad.
That's right. That's it.
Yeah, they just a different offense without him. And it's crazy with the week that Jordan Love had last week and then the way he started this game. It's just crazy that he lost it on first down with that interception on one of those ones, and you're looking like, bruh, I understand you hoping to homie coming back on a comeback or something. But you don't see them three dudes over there.
You don't see them three. Everything about that pass was terrible. Everything. And I'm not going to absolve, not that he could be really blamed, but I'm not going to absolve Aaron Jones for being in no man's land. You ain't blocked Bosa, nor did you just go to that open spot because literally there was nobody over there.
Yeah.
Hey, boop. 10, 15.
You told me that went down. He was trying to get a first down to the first down marker or something, and it was fourth down, and you make that play. Okay, it is what it is. Bro, that was first down.
With two timeouts.
Bro. He pulled a yeah, he that won't good, bro. That won't good. That was not good. And so the Niners move on 24-21. I think they won the last time they played. They won by 3. So very interesting game. And now we'll be able to watch. Was that the one shot to get the Niners out of it? Was that it? You know what I'm saying? We're gonna find out here come next week. But that was an interesting game. Quick comment from Ant before we get to these last two. And he would love this.
Yeah.
Word on the street. You ready? Hey, Source, you ready to part with AJ Brown?
Oh yeah, he already made that clear that he ain't coming back. So, or it seems clear anyway. So life goes on. What can you do?
Yeah, I think it'd be a great mix over there for Mahomes, and if that was to go down. And
until he don't get the ball.
Yeah, until you don't get the ball. He want to learn over there. We share. We share things. But you know what I'm saying? That's we're gonna tell him. We share things. But now, as long as Andy Reid the coach too, because you're gonna need a veteran coach to deal with certain type of players. So interesting. All right, we got 2 games left to find out who will be meeting the teams that won yesterday. First up, let's talk about this one. And I know I see your man's right there, number 6. Can you believe your man's is actually not even thinking about what happened last week? He is actually playing for a chance to make it to the conference championship game. Who'd have thought?
Prime, can I point back? Can I point back to early in the season real quick?
Rewind.
I'm just saying, back when the Eagles were undefeated. The Bucks, Eagles, Monday night. I picked the Bucks to win. I thought the Bucks was going to beat the Eagles. I just thought that was going to happen, even though I don't think Baker Mayfield's very good. It didn't happen then, and then it had to happen in the playoffs. So disrespectful. It was disrespectful. They wanted me to be right, but just not at that time. So even when I was wrong, I was still right. Because when I was right, I could have been wrong.
Well, they said this thing is scripted, right? They said that the whole thing is scripted. They remembered your comments earlier, and they said we got to make sure that these two play each other in the season for source to see. And then, of course, Baker going to show out.
And I appreciate them doing that. Not really, but I appreciate it. Baker Mayfield played well last week, as well as can be expected. If your receivers are running alone, yes, Baker Mayfield played well last week. Now, I'm not going to give him a hard time today. Baker Mayfield did what he needed to do. He made some good throws. Can't deny that. And, yeah, they beat the brakes off the Eagles. Reality got to set in today, though. Reality got to set in.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't. I don't care what nobody say. If you picking Tampa Bay, I'll take the bet. I'll take the bet. You want Tampa Bay? I'm taking the bet. Because ain't no way we're going to watch Tampa Bay and San Francisco in the NFC Championship. Ain't no way. They're not going to put us through that. Scripted or unscripted. They're not going to put us through that. Why would they do that?
Let us pray. Let us pray, man. Look, everything in me tells me that the Bucks could be hanging around in this football game. And I would not have a problem with them winning it, other than the fact I'm sitting there thinking about, I want to enjoy my championship weekend. I want to be able to sit down and watch things I can enjoy. I don't know how enjoyable it would be for me to watch the 49ers and the Bucks next week. I might just have to go to the mall or something. No money.
Not the mall.
I can't see me. Lions would have so much, especially what we saw yesterday. They would have such a better chance of competing with the San Francisco 49ers than the Bucks.
Yeah.
And it's always hard for me to pick against. And if is Mayfield gonna come out and summon that 2021 Tom Brady again this week? You know what I'm saying? That he got it in him, because even if he did it today, I can't see him doing it 3 weeks in a row, especially against that defense. Can't see him doing it next week, man. So, please, Detroit, win this game. Please. Just please win it. You know what I'm saying? The matchup, though, Source, I am anxious to see how many times Antoine Winfield lines up on the other side of St. Brown. How we going to get that match? I want to see this. I want to see who would win this thing out, but it's going to be an interesting game. Everything tells me, though, that the Bucks, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks pull an upset. I'm just praying it don't happen. But I'm gonna take the Lions in this one, 30-26.
Oh man, y'all got the Bucks putting up. You got the Bucks putting up 26. Okay, all right. For the disrespect of the Eagles, I was going 31-20, Detroit, but let's make it 38-20, just for the disrespect of the Eagles. I need Baker Mayfield to come back to Baker Mayfield status. Dog, do you know people were bigging up Baker Mayfield late in the season after that man had back-to-back 14 for 29 games? He had back-to-back 14 for 29 passing, and he was like, Baker Mayfield's having a great season. I was like, who are y'all watching? What football game? Where y'all get that from? Anyway, 38-20 Lions. Shout out to my man John L. And Rashad, the only two Lions fans I know.
Shout out to Chris Robin.
Oh yeah, Chris Robin. True that.
My man Dan. Dan the Bread Man. Y'all know Dan the Bread Man. But he delivers bread at the grocery store.
He worked for Wonder. He used to work at the Wonder store in front of the train station.
He worked for people Marita. I used to deliver that Marita bread, whoever company that is, and they used to be in that truck wheeling it out, knowing it for years. But anyway, yeah, man, let us pray. Let us pray. They played, what was it? What did they play? Was it week 4? They played early, week 6, I think. They played early in the season. Lions won that one 20-6. So, but you're asking me about them scoring 26 points, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. We've seen a couple of weeks where the Lions have given up some points. And,
unfortunately.
Moore, Evans, somebody got to catch something. I don't know. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility they score over 20. I don't think so, especially if they get down early and they got to sling that thing, and they just put 2 people on Aiden Hutchinson, right? So he coming. Baker, I know he coming, bro. So very interesting game. And the last game, the game of the weekend, I guess we should say.
Yeah.
Y'all know what time it is. It is the evening game. I think we're kicking off at 6:30. But we will have the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Buffalo Bills. And it is something to note. 0-2 against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. That would be one Josh Allen. What's even crazier, though, if you want to go over the span of the last 6 times they played, the Bills own them. They won 3 out of the last 4 in the regular season. So, it's crazy.
Where were those playoff games?
Well, those playoff games were in Kansas City. So this is your boy's first time, his first road playoff game.
I see.
Or my boy, I should say. Ants man.
I see. So let's see. First road playoff game. One receiver you trust. And Kelsey, of course. Is Patrick Mahomes Superman? Because you're going to have to be Superman today. You're going to have to be Superman today. Because he's facing out, well, I guess Josh Allen would be a Superman and Patrick Mahomes would be a kryptonite. Yeah, he'd probably be a kryptonite. That makes more sense. If Buffalo don't do it right now, throw in the towel. No, not throwing the towel. I'm sorry. I had a Dallas flashback. thought it was a Dak flashback. I guess it could be. Anyway, yeah, this is gonna be fun. One way or the other. It don't matter if the game is 6-3 or if it's 38-35. This is gonna be a fun game to watch. It's going to be entertaining. If it's turnover, or touchdown. I'm going to enjoy it one way or the other.
Yeah, it's a hard one to call because in the past, you and I probably look at this game and think, man, here come the shootout. This bad boy about to be 38-35.
Yeah.
And not saying that can't happen. But then you can also look at this and we could be going into the third quarter, and the game could be, 17-14, 13-10. I can see this. I can see a defensive struggle on both sides of it, but I can see both teams getting lit out here. But man, you asked was Patrick Mahomes Superman? Well, he's definitely Superman. I don't care what happens today. He just might have to put on his his new cape. But he's going to get it done on the road. And you talked about him getting it done. I'm anxious to see Pacheco because I'm loving the volume that they're giving Pacheco these past few weeks, and I think he is key, to everything that they want to do. So I'm gonna tell you what I saw. I should have got a picture of it, which kind of blew my mind though. I saw this game is in Buffalo, and there are concessions around the stadium with food centered around Taylor Swift.
For real?
Yeah, man. I wish I had got it. Yeah, this one thing was like a fried combo or something, and the joint was crazy. It had all type of. It was named after one of her songs too. The joint had all type of jalapenos, everything on it. That joint was like in a big container, like you put a foot-long hot dog. Yeah. So they're trying to, and it wasn't no crazy stuff. All the stuff that these places had were named after her song in Buffalo.
Hey, the NFL said what the NFL said. Hey, listen, y'all better get this Taylor Swift money. Stop playing. So
this is going to be crazy. But yeah, man, this is going to be a fun game. It's a fun game, and I hope it comes up to everything that we think it's going to be. You see, I hope the Swifties bought up the playoff tickets. Come on, man. Yeah, I think who's this comment here? Wes said he think the defensive game 23-20. Josh Allen gets the monkey off his back in a late touchdown drive. We've seen it before. I can see that.
I like the way you said that, Wes. I like the way you put that there.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. I'm not. I'm rolling with Mahomes. You already know that.
We know.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm rolling with Mahomes. And it'll be interesting to talk. The talk's going to be if Buffalo doesn't win this football game, especially depending on how Josh Allen plays in this one if they lose. But nah, man, I am rolling. I'm rolling with my man's right there, number 15. And I'm going to take the Chiefs in a close game, like Wes called it, 26-24.
Man.
And my man Mahomes get that road win, the road playoff win.
Dang, y'all took all the good numbers.
Yeah, Gabe Davis ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I think I'm definitely going Buffalo. I'm definitely going Buffalo. Matter of fact, yeah, Prime. I'm gonna go ahead and let it be known that Josh Allen is gonna do damage to these people.
Woo.
With his legs and with his arm. And the ghost of Patrick Mahomes. I don't want to say the ghost because that ain't good. That ain't good.
That was me. My bad. Go ahead, Caesar.
We don't want them to disappear. All right, fine. All right, I got Buffalo 27. Kansas City 19.
Hold on, man. You're not gonna be disrespecting my man's and say he can't get over 20 points, bro.
Here's the problem, Prime. You said a 2-point score. Wes said a 3-point score. I had looked at their jersey numbers. And I was like 27-25. And then I was like, yeah, I was using the Dwayne method. But not really. And then I was like 27-15. I can't do to people like that. But they ain't getting to 20. Kansas City's not getting to 20. They're not getting to 20. Listen.
The disrespect.
Kansas City is not getting to 20 points. Okay? 27-19, Buffalo. Then we got the B versus B in the AFC. Buffalo traveling to Baltimore.
Man, you sleeping on Andy Reid. Andy said, man, I might be 3 or 4 points shy, 20 by halftime, man. You go ahead, man.
All right.
Let's go, Pacheco. It is what it is. Ought to be a great game and a great day of football. So you have anything for the folks before we ride off?
Prime. Do I have a book nearby? I don't have a book nearby. So, no. I ain't even going to get into all that. Yeah, I don't think I have anything. Oh. No. Nah, I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
No doubt. Appreciate y'all rocking with us this morning. Who was out there? Oh, somebody. Boy said he keep Ant. Boy Ant said he got the receipt, so he listened to everything you said. So
that's all right. Make sure you pull up the video about what time y'all play? 3:30. 3? Yeah.
No, that game. That's the evening game. Man.
Oh, is that the late game? I thought that was the early game.
Is it the late game?
I thought that was the 3:00 John. We should know in a second. It should be in the comments in a second. If I don't get the FanDuel by the time. You right, Prime. 6:30.
Yeah, I guess remember I said they had to make that the main event.
So 9:45. Bring the video out. 9:45.
I'm gonna have a clip of my man's disrespecting these people talking about my man's Magic 15 can't only get 20 points in the game. Come on, bro. Killing me, man. It is what it is. We are the SBP. We appreciate you rocking with us. We catch y'all on the next one. And maybe, just maybe, you'll see Caesar. Then maybe you won't. So
not if I have anything to do with it.
They're going to start a petition. So they ain't going to mess with your email. It's going to be mine, my inbox. But it is what it is. Till the next one, we up out of here. Appreciate y'all checking the show. No doubt.